unmute myself.
Do it,
Be
Bobby.
alive and good. Hold on.
Let's
In my
do
head,
it,
I'm
Bobby.
thinking, damn it, Daniel, and all that stuff. So in my head, I was like, do it. That's a D. Do it, do it, Dougie. No, because that's just gonna make people think of Dougie.
Yeah. Ducky. Do the ducky. I already
It's
did
Wednesday
my
night.
fair share of dancing.
It's Wednesday night. You know that means we are Top Rope Tokes here to talk to you about another episode of AEW Dynamite. I'm just saying, and that guy over there,
Range of motion.
And per usual, well, first let's start by saying it's the Dynamite after Double or Nothing, so lots of Fallout video clips, packages.
Yeah, there was a lot of short, quick things that happened tonight. It was a Fallout show.
Not to put it lightly, but there's a chance that we could like Rampage more from this week than Dynamite.
Dog.
If you weren't watching Dynamite tonight, to actually see the rundown for Friday night, it is a loaded card that is on its way to setting up a lot of Forbidden Door things.
Yeah. So you know what? Since we start off the show with it, let's go ahead and get right into our good, bad, and ugly. Since you've already told everyone what my good was, my good was that we got a good Rampage card out of this Dynamite. Because it wasn't a horrible episode, but it was just, there was nothing to write home about. Except for the fact that we're probably going to get our best Rampage of the year.
Willow versus who?
Willow versus Emi Sakura.
Zack Sabre Jr. versus who?
I believe that is that Action Andretti.
I know he's on the card.
I don't know if those two are facing each other or not, but yeah, they're both on the card. And
Shibata Lee Moriarty.
Shibata versus Lee Moriarty. Dog. That's
what they call it, title night, Friday title night, or championship Friday, championship Rampage, because all of these have some kind of title from around the world on the line. Because on top of that, you have the AAA Omega Championship.
Oh yeah, that's right. We got Vikingo, Dralistico, and Commander, and a triple threat.
Oh, that might be a time that we got to bring back Count the Rotations.
Yeah, that'll be a Count the Rotations match.
In a similar vein, my good, not somebody who does as many flips or as any of them, but kind of runs the same like Mexico circles and everything. It's the kind of thing that usually ends up as a hit at night, but Bandito holding up Wheeler Yuta for a full 60 seconds for a delayed vertical suplex. Just counting the entire time.
That was really good. I mean, I always love Bandito's delayed vertical suplexes, but it's something about it adds to it while you're watching the Lucha Bros super kick everybody who tries to stop it. It's great.
I should have left it for a hit at night because I know something else now, but whatever. My bad.
Yeah, you're bad.
I don't even know, man, for a bad of the night, because there wasn't anything I like really, really disliked outside of one thing we already talked about that should be the ugly. So I don't know. We got Hook and Jungle Boy back together, which as a team makes no sense because neither one of them can talk.
My issue with the Jungle Hook thing is Jungle Boy did all that talk about not wanting to go for tag title or anything like that. He wants singles gold. And he's like, yeah, I lost once, so I'm just going to go for I'm just going to tag with Hook again. I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that was not the coolest to me either.
I'm just grasping at straws at something that kind of fits that middle ground of it's not the worst thing ever.
So, I got my bad is going to be that Max Caster called himself the best wrestler on the planet. Sir,
He always,
I love you.
He always does.
But you, it's great. You're a great sports entertainer. That's for sure.
For my ugly, and I know you say that you always go for something fashion, so I mean, feel free to hop on with this because we talked about it, but the way in which Tony Khan made his big Collision announcement of being that CM Punk will be featured. We came up with a way that kind of rationalizes the decision to do it that way, but at the same time, surprise factor and that kind of stuff. Like you could have revealed CM Punk would be there in a number of different ways, like just have him show up when you announce Collision or whatever. But I don't know.
Yeah. So I actually didn't go fashion related on this one. Because the Elite backstage segment, I didn't like any of that at all. I felt like the middle rushed.
Of it. I feel like the middle of it was very awkward. The beginning was kind of standard and cliche.
Yeah.
It was all just to build to that one line at the end from Hangman.
Yeah. And that was, I don't know. I didn't like that it was all about the one line.
But listen, if you don't know shit about Kota Ibushi, just know, take Takeshita to the next level, but also very athletic, like moonsaults and that kind of stuff.
I've seen some of ridiculous. Yeah, I've definitely seen some of his stuff. So if you've been paying attention, they've been trying to make you feel like it's gonna happen. They're like, Takeshita's joining. Nope, never mind. He's joining the BCC, or at least Don Callis instead.
So here's the real question when it comes to that. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Ibushi is he's a free agent. In my head at first, I thought this might have been setting up stuff for Forbidden Door, but I'm like, no, technically he's a free agent. It has nothing to do with like anybody crossing over.
Well, won't be forbidden. It'll just be a door. If they have an event called The Door, then he'll be there.
Yeah, just thinking when it would be logical for him to show up, which I mean, he still has all the New Japan history, so it still makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be whenever. I think it'll be whenever they get jumped next.
Well, without getting too much into where we have to go eventually down the line and then rehash it, I'm not sure when that will be, because if they're not with BCC, then we gotta get a whole group out of that first.
Yeah.
If we want to jump right into that one, I don't know where exactly we start. Do we start with Don Callis' promo? Do we talk with the Blackpool Combat Club match? Do we start with the little video package from the Elite backstage?
All of it at the same time. You have three
So we'll
mouths,
just
don't you?
so we'll just call this like the elite block because it's going to be everything revolving around the elite.
I'm with it. Let's do it.
Start off, Blackpool Combat Club starting off the show off against Lucha Bros and Bandito, which they were saying they want to get revenge for their loss last week. Obviously, Lucha Bros and them are going to get the respect, and it's not going to be a squash match,
Right.
but it's the BCC.
Yeah. Obvious outcome here.
Especially with the titles not on the line because it's a trios.
Right. Yeah, definitely. I mean, obvious outcome, especially with belts not on the line. If the belts were on the line, it would, that would be different. But trios, no belts. So, BCC all day. Lucha Bros and Bandito look good for a while. Like we talked about the suplex spot earlier.
60 seconds on Yuta holding him up.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really the only thing that I felt was super, super notable up until the end, which was they're continuing to really push Wheeler Yuta right now.
Mm-hmm. He's gonna be that next heel up. I feel like once Mox moves out of the way, yeah.
See how it all goes, because at the pay-per-view he pins Kenny, and tonight he does all the elbows before rolling over Bandito in the seatbelt pin for the win. During commentary, Danielson, on commentary like he is a lot of time, he liked to make a point early on about how BCC's tough. They're there back to work tonight. Where are the elite? Where are the elite? Well, after this match, we see Alex Marvez with 3/4 of them because Kenny's not there. It's just the Young Bucks and Hangman backstage.
Yeah. Hangman started talking, but it was like he was definitely setting up for the Dark Order to come interrupt him because he wasn't really saying anything.
I mean, Matt was the one that really just started everything. It was awkward because he was like, let me ask you about the elite, as if two of the other three guys aren't right there. And he talks about how Hangman brings out the best in the elite, but the BCC brings out the worst in them because he never thought he was going to try to melt another man's face.
Hey, firework shoes. That's what's up. Like, I've always wanted light up shoes, but that man had firework shoes.
Still think those are one of the coolest things that I wish I could have from childhood, but I'm like, I don't know if I can wear those as an adult besides for very specific places.
I mean, for me, the problem is you have big feet too, but I have big
Not
feet.
Ridiculous.
And I'd have to get some custom made ones because you already know me. I've looked into this extensively.
Like, I can't wear them to work. That's all that matters. But yeah, you said it was all to set up the Dark Order interrupting, and then he's basically going to go try to catch up with them. But he comments on Marvis saying, rumors is Kenny went back home to Canada and he's not even in the country. And Hangman goes, he's not in the country, but he's also not back in Canada. And they act like it's some big revelation, as if like, Kenny on social media.
Kenny be? He's not in the US and he's not in Canada.
Where did he live?
Is it the only other place that he's ever lived?
The other language he's fluent in?
The other place where he's fluent in the language. Maybe. No, he's in Mexico right now.
Where he says, because I think it was still Sunday night after a pay-per-view, he's like, I got some friends to call.
Yeah.
Definitely Japan, definitely Coda, but he mentions two people. I haven't read too many people's ideas or anything to know who the second one could be, but the first one's obvious.
Yeah, definitely him. But yeah, he has been talking like there's more than one.
back to things that kind of center around the elites. Possibly, who knows? It was announced tonight that on Collision, it will feature CM Punk. The crowd booed heavily.
That's there was you could they were trying to focus on all the people that were excited about it, but the boos drowned them out, so they just kind of eventually let it go.
But the commentary tried to act so hype about it, like it was some big positive thing, as if the crowd wasn't booing.
With so much heat. He's about to be like more hated than Dominic Mysterio is.
So the only reason I mentioned this with all the elite stuff, because obviously Brawl Out, you don't know if they're going to work together. You know, Punk show versus the elite show, but everyone's going to kind of wonder where it's going to go. And I still think it would make sense, but with what they're talking about, I don't know if they would do it. But we do get to hear from Don Callis and Takeshita after the pay-per-view. And we'll circle back to kind of like the beginning. But at one point, Don mentions building a new family. So he's not done with Takeshita.
Yeah. So there's going to be more people to this.
Can you imagine the heat if you did put those two together, though?
Who?
Swarmy ass Punk and Don Callis.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they're Don Callis has now set himself up as the most hated person in AEW, and once CM Punk is back, it's gonna be him for sure. Like if you put those two together, yeah, people would know what you're doing, but they would love to hate it.
Love, like the heat, them and like Christian Cage. Those are the two people that consistently can. Those will be the three people that can consistently draw that kind of heat, because MJF can draw heat, but he also gets cheered a lot.
Because it's hard to not cheer MJF sometimes. Because it's like, yeah, man, we know how hard you're trying to be a little shit. That's just like we get it, we like it. But
the whole Don Callis did the same basic stuff he's been doing. He's been blaming Kenny that he's the victim and everything.
Yeah, he's the victim. Kenny destroyed his family.
Don lost a nephew in Kenny, but he gained a son, and he points at Takeshita, and then he speaks mostly in Japanese before just a little bit of English, saying that they're going to destroy the elite and destroy Kenny.
If he's going to beat the elite, Don Callis says we're going to cut the elite out of all elite wrestling.
Him and his new family.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see it grow, because eventually you have to have a tag team in there, right? Yeah, just to kind of be on the other side of
guy in there.
But we think also something in terms of a tag team to kind of pair off with the Bucks, right? I don't know what team can fill that role besides who we mentioned. If somehow you turned them heel and put FTR, but that's all based on them and CM Punk, so it doesn't even matter. But I can't think of a team that really can step up in the heel role on that level, at least off the top of my head right now.
Not really. I could see them linking up with like Jay White and Juice, but not right now, as they also have stuff going on.
Roderick Strong and Adam Cole.
Okay. Because I mean, we know Adam Cole's going to turn eventually. He can't be a face for too long.
And before they all got hurt, remember one of the last things that happened was Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly turning out the Young Bucks.
Yeah.
It just never got to play out.
Yeah. So that could work. That could definitely work.
What could have been with the trios division, but between brawl out and injuries.
Yeah. Trios division is hurting. Like I like that they've included the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass in there, but it just wouldn't feel logical for them to be able to beat House of Black.
Right. Now, you want to know what really sucks? The fact that we got to see the Acclaimed, they got to talk, but it has to be like the least memorable thing that they've ever said on the microphone.
Mm.
Max didn't even rap, did he?
Nope.
I mean, he was just standing there on the stage with Renee after she welcomed them all.
Yeah, they didn't even come down.
But he was on a stage. It was the perfect time to do music.
And sometimes you just gotta tell everybody that you're the best wrestler on the planet with a straight face.
They are the Acclaimed. They are the people's choice. I was wondering, I was like, champion? People's champions? But people's choice, it just makes me think of like Teen Choice Awards and stuff like
Choice
that.
Awards, man.
Like Nickelodeon time. Now, I will say, we have seen him get a lot better in the ring because he was very, very basic.
He has improved quite a bit. So when I first started watching, I could have never saw that tag team as like a champion tag team. I was like, okay, they're fun. They're, good mid-card tag team. And then as he started getting better, I was like, I want to see belts on the Acclaimed now.
Because Bowen says it, everyone loves the Acclaimed. But this was
that gold again. I always, every time someone says they want the gold, I feel like they should say sucker after. I want the gold, sucker.
Billy's sad because he let them down, the two most important people to him. But Bowens ends up saying that Billy, the legend, deserves to hold gold one more time, and they're in AEW. So they're not done with the House of Black. They ain't gonna beat the House of Black, but
they coming back for that ass.
So maybe we'll just get, as opposed to a good kind of regular match, maybe we'll just get a really good match out of them. Like build back up to and go all out.
Yeah, man. I'm in for that.
No pun intended.
Oh. But you be able to stretch it out that far?
Oh, I didn't actually mean take it to it. I just said no pun intended.
Okay.
Like, I wasn't even meaning to rope it in so much.
Yeah, I don't think you could stretch it out that far. I would hope they wouldn't try to stretch that out that far.
Do we want to talk about the Bullet Club Gold Ricky?
About mothers. Bullet Club Gold and Ricky.
There was no revelations there.
It was very
yes, now FTR is involved.
No, I mean, yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about it, really.
Cool.
Because
then we get.
I think that's a good feud, but it's going to be another loss for Jay White.
Honestly, that's what should have been the bad. I forgot about it entirely. Let's be safe. I was talking before the show, like, Jay White comes in, treat him like a main eventer. He's on the level of, like, Kenny and them.
Yeah.
And now he's going to lose in tag team matches.
Yeah, he's a solid mid-card heel right about now. Why, I don't know. I feel like
That's all
you
right.
should just strap a rocket straight to his back.
Some people you definitely should. Now, one person I know you have to be thankful for. It's one of those things I can feel comfortable speaking for you, but it's time for Swerve.
Yes, it is fucking time. So it's been time for Swerve since probably like the day he started wrestling, I'm assuming. I mean, I didn't see it or anything, but like since the moment he's been in AEW, I have been like, singles belt on this man, please.
Like, they ended up making his whole run with Keith Lee actually decent and everything.
Yeah, and
but
as
as
much as
soon
I
as they
like
split
Keith
up,
Lee, he carried that.
soon as they split up, though,
But yeah,
they still haven't fought one on one.
yeah, they still haven't had that one-on-one yet.
It's gonna come after he has the championship.
I really like. I feel like the reason why he's getting another shot here is because he's gonna win.
Yeah. So before we get to that, we had a three-way match between Trent, Swerve, and Big Bill. Match was pretty predictable on how it's gonna go. You and I kind of laid it out. Trent's there to help make everybody look good. Swerve's gonna win, and Bill's gonna look strong.
Yep. That was. Yeah. Because I said I was like, Swerve's gonna win. Big Bill's gonna look really strong, and then you were like, and then Trent is there to make everyone look good, and that's what happened.
No, so Trent being the baby face of the group, it's easier for Swerve and he to team up together to work against Big Bill for the size advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course that happens, and of course it doesn't. It never lasts with Swerve. He's a snake.
Of course. I mean, he's got Swerve in the name. And people still trust him sometimes.
They were literally on commentary going, Swerve, Swerve, right? He's Swerve, Swerve. I'm like,
yeah.
Captain
It's
Obvious.
Like, yeah, it's like shame on you. You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. Or, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. It's like, you've seen him. His name's Swerve, and you've seen him swerve.
So would you be Swerve's tag team partner?
Hell yeah, I would.
It's like, I know the answer is yes, but at the same time, you're like, you can't trust him.
I don't care. Go ahead, turn on me. Swerve my ass. Stomp on my chest. I don't care.
I forget to stomp. I just want to be chopped. And not by your former tag team partner. That one just scared the hell out of me. But end of the match, of course, we talked about Big Bill looking strong. He ends up choke slamming Trent into the ring. Swerve, it has to partially be because it was on a giant. It's the most awkward looking stomp he's ever done to him on the apron before going to pin Trent.
It was a weird one.
Basically, the finish plays out exactly how we thought the match.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's role was their role.
Yeah, everyone played their role. Swerve is. It looks like Swerve is starting to get the push.
Mm-hmm.
I was a little worried at first when they were like, brand new faction, loss immediately. I was like, uh-oh, here we go.
And that was the Darby who was in this match.
Mm-hmm. Well, to Darby, who was in another
the pillars
match.
Set up. Like, you're not gonna have the guy about to wrestle for the world championship and lose.
Right.
But how do you make the brand new faction guy lose? I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah, it was like, I felt like that there could have been better booking there, but I'm still complaining about that from like a few months ago now. As things are starting to look much better for Swerve, I'm gonna just leave it alone.
But everything here is still relevant because later on in the night we had the Embassy, who, you know, is a part of Mogul Affiliates, going up against Orange Cassidy and that same guy, Darby Allin.
For the Gates of Agony.
Sorry, yeah.
Toa Leona and Bishop Khan. when they
It's funny,
tag, they are the gates of agony.
It's funny, I got it right up there, but when they were entering into the ring, I wrote the embassy just because of Titantron. Okay. One major complaint about this match. Both members of the Gates of Agony were in the ring for like a good minute, in which the ref did not even attempt to say a word to kick him out of the ring.
Leave Bryce alone, okay? He's little. It's hard to see, okay?
But the point is, they're bigger than him. He should easily be able to see the two of them.
Couldn't see around him. He was like, oh, there's one big dude there. Couldn't see the second big dude.
This textbook match. The two little wrestlers, not the referee, but the two little wrestlers got their asses whooped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I actually loved that the Gates of Agony, they both moved slower than they usually do. Just to like accentuate the speed of Darby and Orange Cassidy, because Bishop Khan's not slow, but he was moving like a turtle in this match.
Yeah, like he's a beefy boy, but not in like the chubby sense. Like he's just thick and he's
Toleona, he's a big dude, but he moves too, and they were both moving real slow in this match, and I was like, I feel like that's got to be purposely done.
So, end of the match comes with a Stundog Millionaire to Bishop Khan, holds him. Darby hits a code red and coffin drop. All Orange Cassidy does like the dive to take out Toa, and after the match, Swerve comes down. They start to single the ring, and we get Sting in his baseball bat, and everybody backs off.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was curious, when this happened, you said something along the lines of, this is what should have happened like 3 days ago at the pay-per-view.
Oh, I was talking about how Sting should have came out with Darby and got me more money.
DraftKings free pools, y'all.
Like, if Sting, if you had shown up with Darby, I would have got $4.56 instead of 51 cents.
Both got the same score, but at least on the plus side, every time there's an AEW pool, I get enough right to get some kind of money. I think there was one I maybe missed, but yeah, I've never put $1 into DraftKings. I put other sports bets down, and I still have a little bit of a balance to keep betting on things if I want to, and it's all because of AEW pools.
Heck yeah, AEW pools. I got my 51 cents.
Maybe one day I'll make enough money back to make up for all the tickets and stuff we've bought. Merch. Be like, hey, it's all right. I've made it back in gambling on y'all.
That would be dope. Just betting on each pay-per-view.
But anyways, should be added, as much as we talked about how hyped that Rampage card is going to be on Friday night, which is the strangest sentence to ever say. Next week on Dynamite, we get what match, Range?
A wrestling match. No, we Swerve is getting Orange Cassidy one-on-one next week, you guys.
It's time for a change.
I don't like to get my my hopes up, but I smell a title change. And we've if you haven't noticed, there are no more brown champions in AEW, which means you gotta give a brown person a belt, and Swerve is your guy.
I'm trying to think, because at one point we had at least a handful, like we had a few different Latinos that were champion. Like we had when the Lucha Bros were tag team champions. I can't remember who held the other belts at the time.
They might have had them at the same time as Sammy had TNT.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, there's at least a couple, and that was before. Was that before the International Championship was a thing?
Oh yeah.
So like the percentage, was better. Let's see. Because I was trying to remember before the whole Wardlow, Hobbs, Wardlow, Joe, Wardlow. We talked about he beat Scorpio, right?
Yep. He beat Scorpio. Broke leg Scorpio.
He's been healthy for a while and we haven't just nothing for him.
Well, apparently he's going to be on Collision. Another Collision.
Have you seen something? Is he actually going to?
Yeah. They were saying he's going to be on Collision.
I don't know what the hell he's going to do because I've never seen him really be on his own and do really well. Because he's been in like in a faction or a team for a long time.
I'd like to see what he can do because, as you can see, I like Ethan Page a whole lot now that he's not with Dan Lambert. So let's see what happens with Scorpio Sky.
I mean, when he was in this faction back in the early days of AEW, and like before AEW was a thing, SCU was pretty popular, and he was the one who always had like the hook line for SCU.
Okay. See, there we go. Maybe he's better without Daniel Lambert. Keep Dan Lambert off my television, please.
All right. So I'm looking at the last couple things to actually... Honestly, we don't even need to talk about Renee with the Outcast. That was the most like basic, stupid promo. Like it wasn't actually serving any kind of point.
Yeah. The only thing that I said about that promo is I wish that Ruby was champion. If one of those three has to be champion, I wish it was Ruby.
That just doesn't help them with Wembley.
Yeah. It's okay. I hope Toni Storm's reign as a heel champion is going to be better than it was as a face champion.
It has to be. I don't see a way for it to not be. Like literally, that promo that she did was already more entertaining than all the face times she talked.
Yeah. Yeah, Mean Toni Storm is cool with me, like I said. So, we'll see.
Speaking of new champions, Chris Statlander was on Dynamite for the first time, they said, since January of 2022.
Damn.
I was like, it didn't feel like it had been that long.
I guess because she probably has been on a lot of Rampage and Dark.
No, they're just being permanent her injury, just in general.
Okay. Because I was thinking that it might have been a while because she had been wrestling Rampage and Dark. You know how they do with the women's wrestlers. If you're not a champion, you're going to be on Rampage or Dark.
I mean, that could be part of it still. And just obviously they accentuated it by saying like the injuries obviously make up the majority of that time.
But she was finally starting to get her push, and then she got injured. Like, because it was like, she was featured on Rampage a lot. And that's how you know her push was coming.
But of course, anytime there's a new babyface champion, who's one of the first people in line for a championship match?
Hey, man. You always got to go with someone who's going to put on a solid match and make your champ look strong, but has some credibility. And that's always going to be Nyla Rose. Because she's like the lowest of the low card heels, but she's been a champion. So she's got some credibility.
It's like you have her, you have Riho from those early days, and then you go to Shida. At least Shida's been involved with the main event players. Nyla Rose has not been involved. Depending on how you want to look at her feud with Jade, like
that was I'm gonna say that was the only thing that she's done that's been featured recently.
Yep.
Which is even then, that's not including a hell of a talent.
Man, I just remember laughing a bunch during those promos and like
Yeah,
this is actually good.
yeah,
Like
like
the
we
best
had
thing that
so
they've
much
done.
fun with those. But
I just even remember going back and forth with you about calling her the real TBS champion when we were doing our reviews.
I forgot about that. How she just was like, "Yeah, I'm the TBS champion now." Look at me. I'm the TBS champion now. I wish she had done that.
So, of course, she's not losing right away. It was your basic story, like Chris Statlander is strong, so she should at some point be able to get Nyla up. But you know, Nyla being bigger than a lot of the other women, you know, she's struggling at first, but eventually, towards the end of the match, is able to get her up in. I hate to say it, but it was like the worst Blue Thunder bomb I've ever seen.
Yeah. I forgot that she finishes with the Blue Thunder bomb. Dude.
How she beat Jade was her normal finisher. I was surprised to see her finish the match how she did tonight, though.
Yeah. You know, nobody else finishes with the Blue Thunder bomb. Like, Blue Thunder
she didn't
bomb
either.
Yeah. Oh, wait. She did? I thought...
She won with the 450 splash.
Oh, yeah.
Which I thought was weird because you busted up both your knees and you're going to finish people with a move where you got to crash down on like your knees.
Oh. That's fun. Hey, because, yeah, you can't finish with a Blue Thunder bomb. Just, it's not possible. Blue Thunder bomb is only a near fall move.
If Takeshita can't do it and his is beautiful, nobody else can do it.
Nope. That's what I said. It's not a finishing move.
Maybe against like Serpentico.
Yeah. Yep. Serpentico doesn't count. Poor Serpentico, man. See, the thing about not having Dark anymore is that I haven't seen Serpentico in a while.
Wait, who was it that replaced Serpentico? Because remember, he went away and somebody else was taking all that duty. They're like, oh, it's a new Serpentico, but I can't remember who it was.
I can't remember. There was somebody else that started taking some of the Serpentico bumps, and I can't remember who it was. I was like, who is this? Like, he's coming out to get squashed again.
It's funny because I don't know how much of it's in kayfabe. I don't know how much of it's to like BTE, or how much of it's like on Ethan Page's vlog. But kind of going back to topic, Nyla Rose, Serpentico go back and forth all the time with each other, like as a rivalry.
Oh, that would be cool.
I want to see. If she did a chokeslam in this match, I want to see her chokeslam Serpentico now.
I want that on the next pay-per-view buy-in.
Nyla Rose versus Serpentico.
Book it right now. Please. Oh, man. Wait, so what do we have left here?
One match, the main event.
The main event.
Which Adam Cole and Britt Baker versus Jericho and Saraya. Neither of us, we kind of talked about it. I didn't know what to expect going into this match at the end of the night.
No. This was the only thing that wasn't super predictable for me today.
It's like, all right, I know the pay-per-view match was a dud, so are they just going to try to blow this off in a different way just to make it nice? Is there going to be something after the match that keeps it going? Which definitely felt possible because there was so much time after the match.
It's another celebration for Adam Cole and Britt Baker.
Oh, they definitely were trying to fill a little bit of time because Jericho was smacking like a chair around the ringside, and threw it in the ring at him, and they're just kind of like doing a stare off and everything. But like, this is way going on way too long.
Yes. Yeah. Like, I was fully expecting something to happen, but no, it didn't.
So if you couldn't tell from our reactions, the end of this match ends up with Cole and Britt Baker winning. But is it over? Is it still gonna go? Like, that's the awkwardness of booking this match right after the pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think they go from here? Are they done?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Because the Outcasts don't seem to let shit go at all. But they also have the belt on their side already.
Right, so they don't have to keep that going.
And Jericho's a sore loser. You know how long Jericho feuds go.
You know how long those feuds go.
You know how long those feuds go. So
that's why I expected something after to maybe continue it, but no.
It could be anything.
I do think it was, well, the story of this match is basically the two veterans. Not that Adam Cole isn't a veteran, but compared to Chris Jericho, apples and oranges. And Saraya versus Britt, they kept cheating to get the upper hand, getting the Outcasts out there to attack and everything. I will say, the transition to getting it actually locked in, not the smoothest thing, but seeing Britt put Chris Jericho in the lockjaw, as short as it was, that was fun.
I know how much you did not want to see Jericho do the I won. But so I know how much that was satisfying for you.
Because we said, speaking of that, like Ryan Tamer versus Walls of Jericho, and knowing how it usually plays out if it's a Walls of Jericho, I hate that commentary turned around, corrected it, called the Lion Tamer, and I was like, no, that was not the Lion Tamer, that was the Walls. More importantly, that's the Lockjaw.
And more importantly, the Lockjaw. So my main thing here is that I just hope that this is over. And like if they keep actually, I think what's going to happen is it's going to be over since Jamie is supposedly actually like really hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're just going to be like, oh yeah, that's the end. Because Britt can't take them on. Or Britt
you mean with that
group aren't going to be able to take them on. All three of them on. So yeah, they're either going to pocket this for a little while, or it's over.
I hope, because maybe we can get more to like the true Adam Cole character.
Yeah, baby.
And kind of get past the honeymoon phase with him in his first feud, and maybe get into something different, and we can be a little bit more creative as opposed to just being, hey, this is my generic babyface triumphant return from injury.
I'm back.
Baby.
Yeah, that'll be fun when he gets to do some character stuff there. And he's like, yeah, remember, I'm Adam Cole, the shithead.
What if he's just secretly the other person besides Coda? But it would make no sense, because Kenny was talking about like calling somebody from elsewhere, but like you can easily slide him into that group, or to go heel, slide him with the other group.
You could. But I think he's separate enough to, and you just want to keep him separate, I feel.
What if he's the third person to help even the odds between FTR, Ricky, and then Bullet Club Gold? Talked about last week. Him and Jay White have the history.
Yeah. But then FTR Ricky needs another person on their side.
How?
Because they're gonna have Roderick Strong too.
Oh, I forgot about
Cole. Wherever Cole goes, he's gonna go.
I forgot about Strong for a moment because we didn't see him tonight.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, yep, that's gonna uneven the odds because Strong's going where Cole goes.
All right, Don Callis, we know your next two members now.
There we go. All right. Adam Cole and Don Callis together.
I mean, think about it, that would put them directly into a main event feud, and it would make sense because they could turn on the Elite, make the heel turn, try to get some heat, but it gets them involved right at the top of the card.
Yeah, and then it makes sense. He'd just be like, yeah, you guys didn't see what I did before I left. I still don't like these guys. And it makes perfect sense. So yeah, they could do that. I don't know why I thought that said Bravo.
I just have to scoot back.
Adam Cole, Bravo.
Bravo, Bravo. Now I want to see him cosplay as Johnny Bravo.
Adam Cole, Bravo. That'd be good.
This might be the quickest we've ever wrapped up through a show.
I told you it was just...
And I don't hate it.
Like, there was legit not a ton.
MJF didn't have a 20-minute promo because all he had was the video recap from the pay-per-view.
Yeah, there wasn't a ton of talking points because everything happened quickly. It was like, here's this, here's that, here's...
Probably the most talkative thing was the whole Ricky, Jay White, FTR stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, it was nothing too crazy.
Yeah, everything was either wrap up something or filler or let's start something next. You started Statlander's title reign as you start everyone's, and then she can get her story going. I guess they kind of continue Swerve's story there a little bit.
Yeah, the same story while he still has the story with Keith Lee from 6 months ago.
Dog. They're just going to do everything.
He's going to win the title. Orange Cassidy is going to take some time off because he's been just wrestling nonstop.
Yeah, the dude could probably use a break.
He comes back. Best Friends will be the team that goes for... Forget the Best Amigos. It'll be the Best Friends trying to go for the trios and losing. Although I would like to see them have a championship at some point in AEW.
Yeah. I would be down to see them with belts.
Then we get Swerve. That's when the Keith Lee shit will finally come to a hit, is when he has a championship. Hopefully he'll retain because we have not seen enough from Keith Lee to be able to say, as much as we like him, we've seen enough to put a title on him.
No. Yeah.
Not since they were a team.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's only shown that he's worth a tag team, which is unfortunate because he's got all that charisma. But he's been moving in the ring like he needs to be in a tag team.
That's why I'm kind of waiting for that chance for him to try to really showcase himself, just so we can kind of really look to see how different it is.
Yeah.
But
I would love for him to just prove us wrong and be like, oh shit, he still got it.
Yeah. I don't know. It feels weird to be done at this time, but I'm so happy about it at the same time. But I'm like, are we forgetting anything major?
No, we didn't forget anything major.
Well, if you're watching the whole stream back on video on demand, or happen to be here live, make sure you like, subscribe, share, all those nice little buttons that work wonderfully for us on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Also, join us in Discord. We be talking about wrestling and stuff.
Yeah, I'm checking now to see how that guy might went to sleep with the show being over. But growing. Would love to have more of you in there with us and talk wrestling, in here with us, chatting wrestling with us even during our show, because I want to get to that point where we take like 5-6 minutes to talk about something and then scan the comments to see what people say. Move on to the next segment. Back and stuff.
Yeah, that would be nice. So join us. It'll be fun. We can all have fun talking about wrestling together.
And from what it sounds like, after all these NBA playoffs, Rampage back to a normal time this week. And it's actually going to have a stacked card where we want to watch it. So
yeah,
we already have the thought process. If we're both going to be home and we're both watching, might as well be live doing our watch along. So
yeah, expect that.
Come watch it with us. Chat with us during the show. Have somebody to talk to when you need to react.
Yeah, they're going to have some matches on that boy.
And it definitely looks like they might be starting to build up to Forbidden Door with that card. So I'm not saying stuff could happen because nothing really happens on Rampage.
Right.
But stuff could happen.
Some stuff can happen. Just
amazing matches. 100 rotations in a single matchup.
Possible. Very possible. Come check it out on Friday.
I'll see you then.